Mr. Ram Prasad, you are ready, sir?
Sorry?
Sir, you are ready, sir?
Yeah,
I
am
am
ready.
My name is Nisar
Yes.
Mukhtar.
Mr. Srikar Reddy is there?
I can't hear it properly.
Yes. Nina,
Good
Mr.
afternoon. Ram Prasad, I think they are asking for some translation.
Yes.
Is some translator is there in the embassy who can translate?
1 minute, sir. We have, sir. We have a translator.
Okay, great.
You need to translate our badge.
बिपुल भाई को फोन कर Vipul bhai and Milan bhai, you have to talk a bit slow because your thing will be translated into Arabic.
Yes,
so you
yes,
take the
yes.
time for that. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Maybe the speakers have to speak and stop so that the translator can translate immediately.
Yeah,
because
I'll
we
do
don't
that.
have simultaneous translation.
Correct. I'll do one, a few lines at a time, and then you can moderate my speed based on.
So we have gone live. So the public is entering. So we'll give 2-3 minutes for them to, populate. So there are already 43 people there.
You want me to, when I'm addressing, you want me to slow down for the interpreter or for it will be covered after the speech?
No. It will, you speak one sentence, then allow, then like that.
Okay.
Ram Prasad, let us know when the translator is ready so that we can start the program.
Sure, sir. He is just beside me. He's just logging on to his terminal. So it will just take another 15 seconds or so.
Hello, this is Anderle.
You see the terminal of Mr. Asim Anwar. He is our Mr. Shahabuddin is our official translator.
Okay, Mr. Asim Anwar, can we just have a voice check?
Yeah, this is Shahabuddin.
Okay, thank you. So your voice is a bit echoing. I think you can adjust. Another line is on there.
So yeah, he is actually shifting to another terminal. So
Okay,
he will just be shortly joining.
Okay.
But maybe we can start the initial program and all that. So by the time he will also be ready.
Okay. So thank you everybody and good afternoon for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and good afternoon in India. We start the India Global Connect, the 8th one in the series between India and Saudi Arabia. So before we have done with a host of countries, and this time we are doing with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, a long-time friend and partner of India. And of course, in jewelry, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is a long-term partner. So we will be starting the session with an welcome address by Mr. Vipul Shah, our Vice Chairman of Women Jewelry Export Promotion Council. Mr. Vipul Shah, the Vice Chairman.
Thank you, Sachi. Dr. Srikar Reddy, Joint Secretary, Ministry of Commerce and Industries. Mr. N. Ram Prasad, Deputy Chief of Mission, Indian Embassy in Riyadh. Mr. Abdul Rahman Al Chaka, Chairman, Gold and Jewelry Committee, KSA. Mr. Milan Choksi, Convener, PMBD. Mr. Mansukh Kotari, Convener Events, Mr. Sabya Sachire, Executive Director, distinguished panelists from Saudi Arabia and India, and all the viewers and attendees to this Indian Global Connect session between India and Saudi Arabian gem and jewelry sector. Good morning to all. It is my privilege to welcome you all to the Indian Global Connect with Saudi Arabia. The global pandemic forced us to look for innovative ways to reach out to the global business fraternity. India Global Connect is one such initiative, wherein stakeholders from both the countries explore areas of collaboration by understanding current business scenario, consumer preferences, amongst other things. This initiative is an attempt to initiate dialogue to explore and enhance trade opportunities between the two countries. India and Saudi Arabia enjoy cordial and friendly relations, reflecting the centuries-old economic and socio-cultural ties. Saudi Arabia is India's fourth largest trading partner after China, USA, and Japan, and a major source of energy as India imports around 18% of its crude oil requirements and 30% of its LPG requirements from the kingdom. Our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Bhai Modi, has recently set the target of Indian exports as $400 billion US. We have achieved $12.55 billion US of exports from this sector in the first 4 months of this fiscal, from April to July, and is well on course to achieve the target of $43.7 billion US as given to us by the government. I'm very happy to inform you that this event is happening with direct patronage from Ministry of Commerce and Industries and Minister of External Affairs, Government of India. The gem and jewelry trade between India and Saudi Arabia stood at US $388 million in 2019-20, and we firmly believe that there is a huge potential to increase the gem and jewelry trade between the two countries. I am confident that this platform would help to initiate a dialogue, explore trade opportunities, which would result into further enhancing our gem and jewelry business. I once again welcome all the dignitaries, panelists, and viewers to this 8th India Global Connect and look forward to this discussion to make the most of this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vipul Bhai. That was really nice, and it sets the tone for our meet today. And we have come to know about the business what India and Saudi Arabia is doing, not only in terms of jewelry, but also in an overall sense. And we are happy to note that, of course, our Honorable Prime Minister's vision about how to increase the exports out of the country. And we hope this relationship between India and Kingdom of Saudi Arabia helps us into achieving that vision. Now, I would request Mr. N. Ramprasad, who is the Deputy Chief of Mission, Indian Embassy in Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And he will brief us on the Indo-India Kingdom of Saudi Arabia bilateral trade and the relationship. Please, Mr. Ramprasad.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Dr. Srikar Reddy, Joint Secretary, Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Mr. Vipul Shah, Vice Chairman of the Gems and Jewelry Export Promotion Council. Mr. Abdul Rahman Al Shakha, Chairman of the Saudi Gems and Jewelry Committee. Representatives from the Indian Gems and Jewelry Export Promotion Council and representatives of the Saudi Gems and Jewelry sector. Good afternoon to all of you. I'm indeed very happy and privileged to attend this India Global Connect Gems and Jewelry B2B networking meet for the promotion of Indian gems and jewelry industry. It's well known that India is one of the largest exporters of gems and jewelry, and the gems and jewelry sector has played a significant role in the Indian economy. Gems and jewelry are also one of India's leading foreign exchange earners and one of the fastest growing sectors, with a remarkable growth over the last 4 decades. The Gulf region in general and Saudi Arabia in particular has been an important destination for Indian gems and jewelry. And given the preferences of the local population, Indian jewelry is highly popular here. However, this is just the beginning, and there is a wide scope for expansion of bilateral trade in this sector. India and Saudi Arabia, traditionally have shared warm and growing bilateral relations, and both the nations are on the move and on a growth path. Since the signing of the Strategic Partnership Council Agreement in October 2019, during the visit of the Honorable Prime Minister of India, the relations have moved onto an upward trajectory in all the fields, and particularly in the trade and commerce side. Senior official meetings of the economic vertical of the Strategic Partnership Council are progressing well, and we hope to have face-to-face meetings at the ministerial level also once the pandemic situation eases. Saudi Arabia is India's 4th largest trade partner, as rightly pointed out by Mr. Vipul Shah. In the financial year 2019-20, bilateral trade was valued at $33 billion. During this period, India's imports from Saudi Arabia reached $26.84 billion, and exports to Saudi Arabia were worth $6.24 billion. Which registered an increase of 12.15% over the previous year. During the financial year 2019-20, the total trade with Saudi Arabia accounted for 4.23% of India's total trade. For the next year, which is the financial year 2021, the total trade actually marked a dip as it was severely impacted by the COVID pandemic and also the oil market volatility. However, Indian exports to the kingdom were valued at $5.9 billion, just a 6% reduction, which was commendable given the overall situation. The momentum has now picked up in 2021, and during the first quarter of the financial year, which is April to May, India's export to Saudi Arabia has increased 116%, equivalent to about $1,307 million, and its import from Saudi Arabia has also increased by 110%, which is about $3.7 billion. We hope that the trade momentum is maintained, and gems and jewelry will be an important component of merchandise trade between the two countries. I commend the Gems and Jewelry Export Promotion Council for taking a lead in organizing the event, and hope that there will be greater understanding of the sector and its requirements, which will contribute to expanding the opportunities for both the sides. Thank you very much. I wish this webinar all the success.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
That was a very comprehensive briefing. And that was Mr. N. Ramprasad, the Deputy Chief of Mission from Indian Embassy in Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, giving us a briefing on what basis the Indian and Saudi relations exist. And thank you very much for the same. We move on with the program. And now, after the Ministry of External Affairs, under whom the Indian Embassy functions, we now move to the Ministry of Commerce and Industries. Mr. Dr. Srikar Reddy, who is the Joint Secretary of the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. He is in charge of the WANA, the Western Asia and Northern African countries in the Ministry of Commerce. He happens to be from the Indian Foreign Service. I know that personally. Thank you, sir, for joining. And of course, we'll ask you to give a briefing, because it is very important on the background of the commerce between India and Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. We are doing this meeting. And under the tutelage of the Ministry of Commerce and Industries, the Gem and Jewelry Export Promotion Council functions. So, sir, please, Mr. Dr. Srikar Reddy.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Ray. Mr. N. Ramprasad, Deputy Chief of Mission, Embassy of India in Riyadh. Mr. Vipul Shah, Vice Chairman, Gems and Jewelry Export Promotion Council. distinguished participants from Saudi Arabia and India from the gems and jewelry industry. Good afternoon to all of you. So I would like to congratulate the Gems and Jewelry Export Promotion Council for organizing this timely networking event between India and Saudi Arabian Gems and Jewelry associations and members. So I would like to thank our embassy also for supporting this event. So as Mr. Vipul Shah already mentioned, our Honorable Prime Minister has set an ambitious target of reaching 400 billion US dollars of global merchandise trade. So out of our total trade, engineering products and gems and jewelry forms a significant portion of our exports. So I think we need to enhance our gems and jewelry exports to reach the target of 400 billion this fiscal year. So I think this is a very timely event because as my friend Mr. Ramprasad also mentioned, there's a lot of potential for export of the gems and jewelry products to Saudi Arabia and also in the GCC market. So as you are all aware, due to the coronavirus pandemic, a lot of global economy has been impacted last year. But however, due to the easing of lockdowns, now there is growth of the economy all over the world. And IMF projections indicate that the Indian economy will grow 9.5% this year in 2021 and 8.5% in 2022. Similarly, Saudi economy is also recovering quite well. So it is expected to grow 4.3%, which is a non-oil economy, and overall GDP is projected to grow at 2.4% this year. So the global trade is also picking up. So I think the gems and jewelry trade, which was hit by the pandemic last year, I think already we have seen in the first 2 quarters of this year, the Indian exports also in the segment have increased substantially when compared to the previous year. So I think continuing the same trend, I think the exports of gems and jewelry will, we are hoping that they will reach the pre-COVID levels in this year. So as physical events have become nearly impossible to organize, so I think the Gems and Export Promotion Council has come up with this novel initiatives of organizing India Global Connect Business Networking event. So already they have organized this event with 7 countries. So already they have done this event with UK, Switzerland, Angola, Colombia, Oman, Singapore, and Morocco. And Saudi Arabia is the 8th country. I think this event will enable the stakeholders from both countries to meet and also to discuss
Gentlemen's
various
please.
or collaboration. So as the bilateral trade has been informed by my friend Mr. Ramprasad, I think I'll just touch upon why the Gulf Cooperation Council Customs Union with 6 members, including Saudi Arabia, a very important trading partner of India. And gems and jewelry exports to GCC countries is also near 10 billion US dollars. But this has come down to around 3 billion last year due to the COVID-19 pandemic. But I think the things are looking good. This year already the exports to this region, especially to UAE and Saudi Arabia and other countries are increasing. So in addition to participation, organizing these kind of events, so the Gems and Jewelry Promotion Council is also making the Indian companies to participate in the Jewelry Arabica show, which is going to be held in November 2021 in Bahrain. So they're also setting up a huge Indian pavilion where there'll be opportunity for the Indian companies to interact with the importers and buyers from the GCC region. So once again, I would like to thank the Gems and Jewelry Export Promotion Council for organizing this very timely event. This I hope that, as Mr. Ramprasad mentioned, the Indian exports of gems and jewelry products to Saudi Arabia is very less when compared to, for example, UAE. So there's a lot of potential for increasing the Indian exports. So I hope this event will be useful for both participants from both sides to enhance the overall trade in this sector. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Reddy. That was Dr. Srikar Reddy, the Joint Secretary of Ministry of Commerce and Industry, speaking on today's session on India Global Connect. I can see Mr. Asim Anwar, you have already joined. So you can, if you can give a brief synopsis of what our speakers have spoken, if you can give for our the attendees from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
You are muted.
Yeah, I think it should be fine now. We are just using the common microphone.
Yes.
Joint Secretary, Honorable Deputy Chief of Mission, Mr. N. Ram Prasad, Mr. Vipul Shah, Vice Chairman, Gems and Jewelry Export Promotion Council, Mr. Abdurrahman Al Shakha, Chairman, Saudi Gems and Jewelry Committee, and representatives of the industry from both India and Saudi Arabia. It is indeed a pleasure, for us at the embassy to be organizing this very, very important B2B meet in this very, very crucial sector. In fact, I would like to compliment and thank JGEPC for organizing this. It's a very timely event, and as mentioned by the Honorable DCM, we see that trade for this year has already picked up and is doing well. And most significantly, and when we were looking at the trade statistics, the exports of gems and jewelry from Saudi Arabia has not actually been affected due to the pandemic, and in fact it has increased marginally. So the data we have from the Ministry of Commerce is that gems and jewelry for last year was around 40 million, which is marginally more than what was the trade the previous year. Just to give a bit of a flavor of what I think our respected panelists from Saudi Arabia are expecting, we have been in touch with all of them, of course led by Mr. Abdurrahman Al Shakha, who is the chairman of the council. I think they are all very eager to hear from their counterparts in India as to what are the various opportunities that they can evaluate in this very important sector. And of course, they will present their own points of view, what they feel are the opportunities, as well as more importantly the challenges which they face for import of gems and jewelry from India directly to Saudi Arabia. As we know that a lot of the gems and jewelry are imported by the United Arab Emirates, and and it's much more than the potential which which is there in terms of directly importing the gems and jewelry to Saudi Arabia. So that's one important issue to be addressed. And there are also various specific points which I think I would leave the respective panelists to address as and when we move to the interactive session. Suffice to say that this is all the representatives from the Saudi side are very excited to be part of this this B2B event, and I would now request that we move to the next segment, and hopefully when the interaction happens, we'll hear about the various opportunities and challenges which both sides face. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Anwar. So we will now have our marketing head of the board of the Gem and Jewelry Export Promotion Council, Mr. Milan Choksi, who will give a presentation on what is council and what the council does.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to, on behalf of the Gem and Jewelry Council, welcome everyone to this presentation and this meeting. So I'll just take a few minutes to give a brief idea of what the Gem and Jewelry Council's functions are. If you go to the next slide, please. So the council has three different essential functions. One is on a global level, one is on a national level, and one is for the trade. Again, please, if I need to, you need to translate what I'm saying. Just Mr. Anwar, stop me so someone can explain what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay. So the council in India, the Gem and Jewelry Council is responsible for the Kimberley process. It's a founding member of this KP process for rough. We are also involved with the IDTC, and we are playing a key role in global supply chain of gems and jewelry. India is the largest supplier of gems and jewelry globally. We also, on a national level, work with the government for employment generation, for foreign exchange, and infrastructure development in our industry. We create gems and jewelry parks in conjunction with the government and common facility centers for easier assistance for the industry. We are employing more than 4 million people, and our total forex that we bring to the kitty is $36 billion. The GJPC is also involved with employee welfare services such as Mediclaim for all our goldsmiths. On a trade level, we are organizing several shows like the IIJS and virtual buyer-seller meets for interaction and business with different countries. We are solving issues related to the trade. We're also hand-holding our mid-sized and small-sized members to help them grow their businesses. On the design level, we are supporting innovation by supporting designers who want to create a mark in the industry. And certification services and something else that we have launched recently. Mr. Anwar, would you like to translate this page or should I move forward?
Because I think we'll not translate every page. I think most of it, this is fine.
Okay.
We can go ahead. In the end, we can probably have a quick summary. So translating every page.
Okay. All right. Okay. Next slide. So as you can see here, we are ranked #1 globally in cut and polished diamonds. In gold jewelry, we are ranked #2. In silver jewelry as well, we are ranked #2. Colored gemstones, we are 5th rank, and in synthetics, we are ranked #2 globally. So if this slide is clearly indicating that in all segments of the trade, India has a pretty important position. Next slide, please. So this slide will give you an idea of how we have the best combination of a skilled workforce and the use of engineering, traditional and advanced methods for production. We use CAD/CAM, artificial intelligence, and all the new technologies are now available in India. And this is supported with institutional finance and logistics services, which are pretty robust in India as well. On the sourcing side, we have rough, gold, and silver. All of them are made easily available for our manufacturers. The manufacturing centers, there are about 185 clusters with more than 1 million enterprises that are producing jewelry and gems. And we also have a very strong network of B2B players across the world. India's capabilities range from making commercial pieces that are $10 to high-end pieces which could be several hundred million. So our range of products is pretty wide. There's high quality, certified, low priced. We can offer customized jewelry. This is probably the only country in the world where you have such a wide spread of products available at great value. With the formation of our SEZs, the infrastructure is also world-class. As I mentioned earlier, we have several services and skilling institutes which helps, and all the support from different trade associations and bodies is managed by the Gem and Jewelry Council. Next slide, please. Nina, can we go to the next slide? So this is a snapshot of the potential that India has in terms of business with Saudi. As you can see, the business between India and Saudi Arabia is almost 10.59. The India exports 10.59 billion and imports 8.9 billion. So the total trade between India and this region is 19 billion. However, direct business between India and Saudi, especially when it comes to gems and jewelry, India's share is only 0.5%, and this is what is clearly indicative of the potential that India has with Saudi Arabia, with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. There is a lot of growth that can be achieved. Can we go to the next slide, please? Again, these are some of the figures that have already been mentioned earlier. This is a breakup of the different categories. And it also shows the duty rates that are applicable for Indian products in Saudi Arabia. Can we go to the next? So essentially, the purpose of this bilateral meeting is try to understand how we can enhance trade between both nations through different trade shows, different initiatives such as this. So manufacturers and traders from India and Saudi Arabia can interact and grow the business between both countries. And we're planning to do a show in Dubai between the 11th and 13th of October. And that'll be an ideal place to kind of take this forward. Next slide. So these are basically the points that we seek cooperation in to identify the potential jewelry retailers and importers who would be interested in attending the show. If the association can provide a database of the local gem and jewelry importers and associations, and disseminate information, inform all their members about the IIJS and such delegations that we can organize in the future, and promote the show through email to the prominent jewelry companies. Of course, this would have to be supported by granting visas to the buyers from your region who want to visit the show as well. Next slide. Okay, so thank you. And I think we can start the discussion.
Thank you, Mr. Milan Choksi, for that comprehensive presentation, which gives a background on what the Gem and Jewelry Export Promotion Council does, and what can be the opportunity between India and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in terms of the gem and jewelry sectoral exports and imports and trade. And to move forward now, of course, we have heard that what the Indians can offer, what is there, what is the background, what this India Global Connect is being organized. And now it's time that we should hear our guests. I would like to invite Mr. Abdul Rahman Al Shakha, who is the chairman of Gold and Jewelry Committee of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. We are privileged to have you, sir, today with us, amongst us. And sir, now we'd like to hear from you about the kingdom and the jewelry business. We have our panelists, the best of the panelists from the sites. So, Mr. Abdul Rahman Al Shakha, the chairman of Gold and Jewelry Committee of Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Thank you, sir.
يسرني جدا أن أدعو السيد عبد الرحمن الشاخة رئيس المجلس المجاورات. تفضل السيد الشاخة.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أسعد الله مساءكم جميعا. ونرحب فيكم في المملكة العربية السعودية. طبعا السعودية والهند تربطهم علاقات قوية تجارية منذ زمن طويل، وعلاقات اقتصادية وعلاقات صداقة. نحن نعمل يعني مع الهند. أنا شخصيا أنا أتكلم يعني أنا من زمن طويل وإحنا نشتغل مع الهند كتجارة.
there is a deep
تفضل.
there is a deep trade relations between India and Saudi Arabia, and the relationship with India of Saudi Arabia is not new. It goes years and years, 1,000 years, you can say. And on this particular occasion, I'm very happy to be here on this occasion. Please. Sayyid.
نعم احنا يعني نتمنى انه يكون فيه اقوى تجاره بين السعوديه والهند، والدليل انه في ازمه كورونا ولله الحمد يعني لم يتوقف التجاره بين السعوديه والهند ابدا. كان فيه
I hope much more greater relationship in terms of trade and politics between India and Saudi Arabia, and of course it is growing. And due to Corona, of course there was some gap and some problem. Now, by the grace of Almighty, things are going to be under control.
كنا نتمنى أن يكون البضائع تأتي من الهند دايركت إلى الرياض بدون ما تتوقف مثلا في دبي أو في الإمارات أو في أي مكان في العالم، يكون أفضل. لكن دائما البضائع تطلع من الهند تتوقف في دبي أو في أبو ظبي عبر الإماراتية أو عبر اتحاد الطيران وتأتي إلى السعودية. أتمنى مستقبلا هذه المعضلة وتكون البضائع تأتي دايركت من الهند إلى من بومبي أو من دلهي إلى الرياض دايركت.
My suggestions on this particular occasion is the shipments from India should come directly to Riyadh, to Saudi Arabia, rather than via third countries like Dubai, UAE, and some other countries. I hope in future it will be the same, and the shipments and the goods will directly be exported from India to Saudi Arabia.
Yes, كذلك يعني أنا أتكلم المستر ميلان أنه سوف يكون في معرض في الهند في 11 أكتوبر إلى كم يوم. أتمنى أن يكون في معارض يعني مثل ما تعملون في دبي أو في غير البلاد، تأتون عندنا الله يحييكم معارض للتجار تعرضون فيها بضائعكم، وخاصة الذهب، لا سيما الذهب عندكم أنتم التصدير قليل للسعودية.
I think there is an exhibition on 11 October in Dubai. I would suggest such exhibition should be held in Riyadh in Saudi Arabia also.
الله يحييكم، نتمنى أن أنتم مرحب فيكم كمعرض للتجار وليس للبيع القطاعي. مهم جدا عندنا هنا أن يكون المعرض إذا كان خاص بالتجار سوف تحضر التجار من جميع أنحاء المملكة لحضور هذا الحدث، ولكن إذا كان المعرض للبيع بالقطاعي التجار لا يحضرون عادة لهذا المعرض، وبالتالي يفشل المعرض.
If there are exhibitions in Saudi Arabia directly, the businessmen, entrepreneurs all over the kingdom will have opportunity to attend and grab the opportunities in future.
نعم. المملكة العربية السعودية التجارة فيها تتجاوز 45 إلى 50 مليار سنويا. أنا أعتقد أن نصيب الهند من المجوهرات نصيب جيد، ولكن من الذهب الحلي المصوغات الذهبية قليل جدا بعدة أسباب، لأنه عادة تجار الذهب يشترون من أصحاب الجملة بضائع جاهزة وبضائع متوفرة، وهذا من الصعوبة السفر للهند باستمرار خاصة الأيام هذه. ما قبل الجائحة كذلك نعاني كثيرا من استخراج التأشيرة، من السفر إلى الهند، ليس كمثل دول الخليج السفر فيها سهل، وبالتالي يعني شراء البضائع يكون سهل. لذا أنا أعتقد وهذه ناقشناها مع السفارة الهندية برضو، أنه تسهيل عملية السفر واستخراج التأشيرة، ويفترض أن تكون أونلاين، يعني لا تكون بالطريقة التقليدية تذهب إلى السفارة وإرسال الجواز وهكذا. فأرجو إعادة النظر في هذا الموضوع لتسهيل السفر إن شاء الله بعد كورونا للتجار إلى الهند.
There is much business, of course, between these two countries, billions of dollars business. But there are some points to be noted that the business relations or the access to each other's country should be easier, and the Embassy of India, Riyadh, can play a much more vital role in completing all these procedures. There are many procedures are followed which are traditional type of procedures. I suggest online facilities, online visa facility, or should be considered, and the Embassy of India, Riyadh, should work to ease the procedures of visas and trade as well between these two countries.
أوكي، أنتم مرحبين فيكم في أي وقت، وإحنا يعني سعيدين بلقاء هذا اللقاء، ونتمنى أن يعني يكون هذا اللقاء باستمرار مستقبلا. شكرا جزيلا.
I'm very happy to be here on this particular occasion, and I hope such events will continue in future as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman, sir. That was the Chairman of Gold and Jewelry Committee of Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Mr. Abdul Rahman Al Shakha. And thank you, sir, for very important observations. I think two important observations what we have noted is, one is direct exports to Saudi Arabia. Sir, we are open for that, and we can continue the discussion after this meeting with your committee, Gold and Jewelry Committee, because in our country, the Gem and Jewelry Export Promotion Council is the body who advises the government in terms of creating policies for exports and imports for the gem and jewelry sector. And we are open to having a dialogue with you how this direct connection can increase. After this meeting, we can carry on with this dialogue with the, of course, the help of the Indian Embassy in Saudi Arabia. And the second thing what you have told, also very important, is exhibition in Saudi Arabia. Sir, for your information, I can tell that we, the Gem and Jewelry Export Promotion Council, organizes in India one of the largest exhibitions in the world, which is called India International Jewelry Show, which is very large format show, which more than 2,500 stalls, more than 1,300 people, manufacturers who participate from all foreign countries, including Saudi Arabia. People come here. So we are ready to again partner with your committee to organize a jewelry exhibition in Saudi Arabia if it is favorable for the rules and regulations for the kingdom itself. So again, for this, we will take a dialogue with our embassy, and through the embassy, we can always create a relationship with you so that in future, how this can be organized, that can be looked into. And now we would also, what you have talked about the access to the visas or business visas, we can tell you, sir, that right now we are, with all the countries, the Gem and Jewelry Export Promotion Council, with all our embassies, we work together so that we see that the business facilitation happens. For business, if any visa is required, we have always seen that our embassies are forthcoming. And of course, again, we can forge in a relationship so that you can see that equitable business opportunities for both the people of the country and free movement, how it can happen. We can, through our Ministry of Commerce, we can always initiate a dialogue, and here the embassy is already there. They can, after this, they can also comment into this, on this issue. However, right now, we now move into the main section. See, why India Global Connect? I'll just give you a background. What is India Global Connect? Why we are doing this? Before, what we used to happen is that we used to take in delegation, the business delegation, the delegation of tradespeople to your countries, and also Kingdom of Saudi Arabia used to come with the delegation of jewelers in our country. However, due to Corona, we have understood that it has become difficult for people to travel, and people are not very comfortable to travel. So we have created this format, which will give a platform, an online virtual platform, whereby the important business people of our country can connect with important business people of the other countries with the help of our embassy, so that it gives a trustworthy relationship. It forges a trustworthy relationship, so you know that with whom you are talking, that has the backing of the government. So, and also our embassy in that country helps us to understand your trade better and bring in the right kind of people in the platform. So we are happy and we are privileged and proud to host you, your committee, and the prominent business people in gems and jewelry from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And we will continue this dialogue now with the question and answer session. We talk about this question and answer session is just like a meeting where both the community, the gem and jewelry community of your country, of Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, will come to know about the gem and jewelry community of our country with the prominent jewelry people and prominent committee people of our country. So I start with some questions which we have framed, certain questions. So I will start with, of course, the Saudi Arabian side. So from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, my first question will be to Mr. Abdul Latif Al Saga of Malik Jewelry. But before we go into the question, we will first try to understand that who are there in the panel. So let us introduce both the panelists of both the countries. So let us see who are with us in this panel, with whom this question and answer session will continue. So as you have already, we have already met and he has already spoken, Mr. N. Ramprasad, who is the Deputy Chief of Mission of Indian Embassy in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. He has already spoken. We have with us Mr. Abdul Rahman Al Sakha, who is, of course, from Abna Al Fahd Al Sakha and Company. But at the same time, he is also the chairman of the Gold and Jewelry Committee of Saudi Arabia. We are privileged to have him. Mr. Mustafa Ishaq, who is from Hassan Al Nemar. Mr. Nasir Kotani, who is from Al Kuhatani Jewelers. Mr. Ramesh Bhora, who is from Bafle Gold from UAE. Mr. Bijay Soni, who is from SIBN. Mr. Abdul Latif Al Saga from Malik Jewelry. Mr. Adib Muhammad Idris from Green Emerald Jewelry. Mr. Meshal Al Debian from Lapis Jewelry. Mr. Hoshen Bahmedin from Abdullah Bahmedin, and Mr. Nizar Zamil Mukhtar from Al Rumaizan Gold and Jewelry Company. All are very prominent jewelry companies, and we have a very distinguished panel from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and we're privileged to have all of you. Thank you for all of you for joining with us. And now we go to the Indian side. Let us see who are from Indian side. So we have already heard Mr. Dr. Srikar Reddy, who is the Joint Secretary from our government, the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Government of India. We have Mr. Vipul Shah, who is the Vice Chairman of GJAPC. He is also the President of Asian Star. Asian Star is one of the largest diamond companies in our country. Mr. Milan Choksi from Mox Jewelry, and also he is the head of the Marketing Committee of the Board of Gem and Jewelry Export Promotion Council. We have Mr. Mansukh Kothari from Basupati Jewelers. He is also the convener of Events Committee from our board, and he is also the co-convener of the Jewelry Panel Committee of the Gem and Jewelry Export Promotion Council. We have Mr. Kunal Doshi from Modern Impacts. He is also from a Jewelry Panel Committee of the Gem and Jewelry Export Promotion Council. He is also from Modern Impacts, a large exporter. Mr. Anish Pirawat from Chain and Chain. He is also from the Exhibition Committee, and also he is also a large manufacturer and exporter. Mr. Sunil Jain from Dalmas, he is also a large company. So these are the panelists from the Indian side, and I am Sabyasachi Rai, the Executive Director of Gem and Jewelry Export Promotion Council. So it's a very important panel, and we are thankful to Mr. Asim Anwar for helping us from the Indian Embassy to put this whole thing together. And now we move to the main round, which is the question and answer session to understand both the communities, the jewelry communities of both the countries. So we'll have the opportunity to understand right from the people who are there in the panel, what is their opinion on different issues of the gem and jewelry sector. So I start with the first question to Mr. Abdul Latif Al Saga from Malik Jewelry. My question is, what's your perception about Indian gem and jewelry manufacturing capabilities? So when we talk about Indian gems and jewelry sector, their manufacturing capabilities, Mr. Abdul Latif Al Saga, what exactly it comes to your mind about our country, about our capability, about Indian gem and jewelry, and any other point that you want to talk about our sector, about our gem and jewelry sector, you may talk about that. So Mr. Abdul Latif Al Saga, that question is directed to you.
أسعد الله مساكم جميعا. The sound is clear?
Yes, of course.
I will speak by Arabic, Mr. Let me speak by Arabic and translate
Arabic.
better for everybody.
Yes, you can speak in Arabic, and we have the interpreter. He can interpret. Please.
Yeah, thank you. أسعد الله مساكم جميعا الحضور الكرام جميعا. اختصارا للوقت أود أن ألفت انتباهكم أني أنا كانت لي زيارات عدة لمعارض الهند في بومبي.
It's very good evening to all of you. And recently I have visited many exhibitions in Bombay.
الحقيقة بالنسبة للسؤال عن مدى قابلية تصنيع المجوهرات الموديلات الهندية في المملكة العربية السعودية، من وجهة نظري أنها لأن المشغولات الهندية فيها دقة وتصاميم فريدة من نوعها وشغل يد جدا دقيق، فمن الصعوبة إيجاد نفس الموديلات الموجودة في الهند أو في معارض الهند في المصانع التي في السعودية.
Of course, the manufacturing of gems and jewelry in India is very high quality, and according to my experience, it is very difficult to compete the quality and various designs in manufacturing gems and jewelry, especially ornaments in India.
أنا عندي نقطتين أود طرحها في اللقاء هذا من خلال زيارتي للمعارض، من خلال زيارتي للمعارض في الهند. النقطة الأولى هي صعوبة الاستيراد مباشرة إلى المملكة العربية السعودية، كما تفضل الأستاذ عبد الرحمن الشحي. لو تكون تسهيلات، أنا ما أعرف الحقيقة السبب، لكن النقطة الأولى صعوبة الاستيراد، وإحنا حاولنا الاستيراد مباشرة ولكن نلاقي صعوبة في التعامل أو في الطريقة.
I have 2 points to discuss on this particular occasion. As Mr. Abdul Rahman earlier said, there's the problem of direct export and import of gems and jewelry, and this is one of the problem, and which I have experienced by visiting so many exhibitions in India.
النقطة الثانية، أنا أدعو للاستثمار من التجار في الهند، لتجار الذهب والمجوهرات، للاستثمار في المملكة العربية السعودية بافتتاح مصانع، سواء بالاستثمار المباشر أو بالشراكة مع التجار في المملكة العربية السعودية، وهذا بيكون مفيد للتجارة وللمجال هذا وللفيلد بالضبط هذا اللي هي الموديلات الهندية والمجوهرات الهندية بشكل مباشر.
My next point is the investment in the field of gems and jewelry in Saudi Arabia, directly or indirectly. If there is much investment in this field, then there will be the size of trade between the two countries will be, of course, higher.
الحقيقة أنا ألاحظ أن في قصور في زيارات تجار الهند في المجوهرات للسعودية أو المملكة العربية السعودية مباشرة. يعني إحنا من أكثر المستوردين المجوهرات الهندية من خلال بلدان ثانية مثلا من الإمارات أو غيرها. نستورد كميات كبيرة، لكن إحنا حاولنا الحقيقة أن إحنا نستورد مباشرة من الهند، ولكن نلاقي صعوبة في الحقيقة في الإجراءات وفي نفس حتى من جهة الهند.
Yes, of course, there are some lacking points in terms of business with India, which is this direct import or export. We generally import things from Dubai or other countries. If there will be a facility between these two countries to import directly gems and jewelry or gold bars, gold items from India, it will be much better to interact with each other directly.
نحن ندعو تجار الذهب والمجوهرات في الهند، وهي بلد عريقة في مجال الذهب والمجوهرات، إلى تكثيف أو عمل زيارات مباشرة ولقاء التجار في المملكة العربية السعودية، وعمل لقاءات مباشرة لتسهيل الأمور ولتسهيل الاستيراد أو الاستثمار داخل المملكة العربية السعودية، وهذا بيفيد جدا الموضوع والمسألة.
I request Indian businessmen and entrepreneurs to visit directly to Saudi Arabia and to meet businessmen in Saudi Arabia directly and interact with them and discuss the points which are lacking with each other. That will benefit both the parties in future.
أكتفي بهالنقاط هذه ليتيح المجال للبقية.
These were my points, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Abdul Latif Al Saga. That was nice to know. And one important point what you have made, I understand, is investment that in Kingdom of Saudi Arabia by gem and jewelry sector. Of course, that is a very prominent proposal, and we understand that this bilateral investment we will of course go on talking about this, because our sector, as you know, are having huge investment has been made in Dubai. If you go to Almas Towers and etc., it is our people who have made the investments. So they will be open to investments if the proper business conditions exist. We go to the next question. Of course, that is also directed to our distinguished panelist from the Saudi Arabian side. My next question is to Mr. Mustafa Ishaq of Hassan Al Nemar. The question is, do people in Saudi Arabia source gem and jewelry products from India? So the question is that whether, of course, we understand that you do source, that is being told that you source indirectly. Then if yes, then what is the experience, your experience? If you are sourcing from India, then what is your experience about that jewelry, about the people who are supplying, about the suppliers, how they are good or bad, what are the shortcomings? And for the jewelry products, how do you see, like if you are sourcing, if you're buying from India, then how do you find, let's say if you compare Indian products with its competitors, other country products, if you're sourcing, so how do you find in comparison the Indian products? These are the questions directed to you, Mr. Mustafa Ishaq. Can I hear you? Mr. Mustafa Ishaq, you are there? Okay, I cannot see, so let us go to the next question. Of course, let us invite Mr. Milan Choksi from the Indian side for a very important question. That during the pandemic, people across the world have gone through social and financial challenges. We all, all sectors, all people have gone through different kind of challenges. And as the result of the same, are any changes observed, because the world has gone upside down in terms of challenges, what Corona has brought to us? Do you see any difference or any changes in the habits of how the sourcing of jewelry is done, how the buying of jewelry is done internationally, and whether there any substitutes have come in or etc. in terms of countries, in terms of products? So that is a question to you, Mr. Milan Choksi.
Thanks, Sabyasachi. Actually, right when the pandemic actually started, for some time, obviously, all business had slowed down globally because there were no flights. There was, shops were closed, malls were closed. There was no business happening. But once things resumed, it was actually very good for particularly our industry, for diamonds and jewelry. It seemed like the consumer had found new kind of reinforced faith in the products, and business, as has picked up very strongly. The exports out of India are proof of what's happening globally. America, China, and even the Middle East has started importing maybe more than 2019 levels. So from a consumer standpoint, I think what's happened is they've found jewelry to be continuing to be a strong category compared to most other luxury products, I think. So yeah, I don't see a change. In fact, I think it's become stronger. I think it's only grown, and with new channels of retail such as online, it's become actually easier for the consumer as well as for manufacturers in India to kind of transact. So the whole pipeline has become much smoother, and the product continues to remain interesting for the consumer.
Thank you, Milan bhai. That was a really important insight, because we have also seen the last year when the trade has gone down, dipped very suddenly to very, very low levels. This year, the industry has made a strong comeback across the world. So that proves that your observation is absolutely correct, that the industry has become stronger. So from there, of course, we move again to our Saudi Arabian panelists. And I would now request Mr. Abdul Rahman Al Sakha for your insight into this question. This question is addressed to you. The total gems and jewelry trade between two countries is less than 500 million in 2019-20. So what are the issues and constraints? Why this is so low? Of course, we have heard from you that there is the trade is happening through third countries, which of course you want to overcome. So in your opinion, what should be the way forward if this trade is low and if we need to increase it?
سؤالي إلى السيد عبد الرحمن الشاخة. طبعا إجمالي تجارة المجوهرات والأحجار الكريمة بين البلدين هو أقل من 500 مليون دولار أمريكي خلال الفترة الماضية. فما هي الأسباب التي تنظر سعادتكم لهذا الأقل حجم التجارة بين البلدين؟
شيء طبيعي، هذا شيء طبيعي، لأنه 19-20 وقت حجر الصحي. الناس في بيوتها stay in the home, nobody go to buy. فمن الطبيعي يكون فيه تردي في المبيعات في معظم البضائع، ليس فقط من البضائع الهندية والإيطالية والخليجية. فأنت لا تقيسه بالنسبة ل 19-20 هذه استثنائية، وإن شاء الله لا يعيدها علينا، ونتمنى أن تكون إن شاء الله آخر سنين الحجر. تفضل.
I think this is quite natural that due to the circumstances, the world being faced by the size of trade is of course less, but it's natural, and it is not only in terms of germs and jewelry export or import. The situation affected all the business all around the world, Italia, Germany, and other countries as well. So I don't think it's a matter of concern, and I hope in future it will be
كذلك
better.
الهند عندنا طلبيات، لما نطلب طلبيات كبيرة لا تلبى، لأنه في الهند كذلك يوجد تباعد في المصانع. المصنع اللي فيه 1000 عامل الآن يكون فيه فقط 200 عامل أو 300 عامل، فالإنتاج قليل، لذا قلت الصادرات. فهذه يعني عصر الكورونا أنا أعتقد أن هذا استثنائي، وهذا يعتبر جيد. أنا أعتبره جيد كمان أن الناس تشتري في حدود الذهب.
I think this is quite natural, and the corona affected all the world, and the size of the trade is I don't think it's less in this particular condition or situation. The factories which were having thousands and thousands people now having hundreds of people because of such situations. And I think it's not a matter of concern. There is much demand from GCC countries in the items and things and goods of India, particularly gems and jewelry in jewelry sector. So it's not a matter of concern. Things will be better in future.
نعم. أنا عقبت وتكلمت على موضوع يفترض يكون في معارض في الرياض من الهند للجملة فقط وليس للقطاعي. أرجو أن يعني يكون هذا واضح.
فهمت. نعم فهمت كلام. The exhibitions which were mentioned earlier, my purpose is not retail business, in the wholesale business only. Exhibition for wholesales, not for retail.
بالمناسبة الجمارك السعودية تسهل هذا بإدخال البضائع مؤقتا لمدة المعرض أسبوع أو مثلا 3 أيام أو 4 أيام حسب يعني المعرض، ومن ثم عودة البضائع، ولا يتحمل التاجر أو العارض أي جمارك أو يدفع ضرائب تضير دخول هذه البضائع.
The good thing is that the Saudi customs are easing everything now. It's very easy to clear the things at the airport or with custom authorities. So within 3-4 days, the clearance is done. So if there is the idea of organizing exhibitions for wholesale business.
The clearance save the day. When come the goods, you can clearance save the day. But what you do, you can income the goods 3-4 days and go back again. Understand? Not the means need clearance 3 days. No, it's pronunciation wrong.
For wholesale, you mean? بالجملة يعني.
وين البضائع إذا قدمت من الهند تخرج في نفس اليوم إلى المعرض، وليس ل3 أيام، ولكن بإمكان دخولها برسم الأمانة بالتأمين، وليس جمرك، وليس دفع الجمرك. الأخ نزار ممكن الله يخليك توضح هذه النقطة. أطلب من الأخ نزار يدخل ويوضح هذه النقطة لو سمحت.
سيدي السؤال غير واضح بالنسبة لي.
طيب
تخليص الجمارك.
الأستاذ نزار يوضح هذه النقطة.
تفضل.
بالنسبة للجمارك هناك،
الجمارك هنا في السعودية أنا قلت لهم إنه ممكن يدخلونها بالأمانة.
نعم.
وتتعرض لمدة 4 أيام 5 أيام ومن ثم يرجعون بضاعتهم زي ما هي.
طبعا هناك نظام الجمارك كما هو متبع في كل دول العالم التي تقيم معارض لديها، أنها تسمح بدخول البضاعة مؤقتا بعد دفع التأمين لعرضها
بالإنجليزي يا أبو حسن.
Okay. Up to the customer, they allow to import or your goods or items, jewelry, for the exhibitions period only, and you can return it back without any paying of VAT or custom duty. So this is easy.
I have understood what you are meaning. See, I will explain. I have understood what you are saying. This is true throughout the world. See, first I want to clarify one thing. Gem and Jewelry Export Promotion Council never ever is interested into doing any retail show. That's the first thing. Retail show is not an exhibition in our parlance, in our terms. We only do B2B exhibitions.
B2B. This is
business to business.
The way it should be.
Yes, we are only in business to business exhibition. Right now, what exhibition we are doing in Dubai also, the only invited buyers are permitted. We first check whether he's a jeweler or not, whether he's there coming to place orders or not. There is no sales. We do not permit sales during the exhibition also. They can only book orders. They can only interact with the jewelry people, wholesalers or retailers of that country. That's how we do it. So this is always clear that we, and also what you are telling, it is called ATA carnet. In anywhere in the world, if you're sending the jewelry for exhibitions, that will be displayed and then it will be taken back into India. There is no sales happening in the exhibition. Both that we are clear and we are okay with that. And of course, this is a very good news to us that, of course, before we understand that the customs used to take some 15 days for clearing the jewelry in Saudi Arabia. Right now, you are saying
no.
Sir, I may be wrong, sir.
No, Sabia, that doesn't take so much.
Limited period.
Yes.
It's
So
limited. I know there is some exhibitions in the arena. They are selling for B2C. Yes. And this is what we're looking for. We're looking for B2B.
No, yes. So, Mr. Mukhtar, as Mr. Sabyasachi said, the 3 important things are: it's a B2B exhibition. The goods will come in and go out without duty, and we need to work on a visa process, which makes it easier for even Indians to kind of come, exhibit, and go back. But
all this facility will take a
only B2B, and there's no question of B2C in the Gem and Jewelry Council. There's
Mr. Milan, but
yes, sir.
Important, you understand, before you bring the goods from India, should be you do the list for all the items.
Yes.
The photo and the details, everything.
It cannot leave India without all of this.
Yeah. Okay. Good. But if you come in Saudi without this, maybe take time. You can do the photo. You do the details.
No, sir. Sir, our customs will also not permit to.
But 15 days, leave the country. Not like.
Yes. Thank you, sir. So what we can do after this, we can come to a MOU with your,
Okay. I want to tell you something also. I go to India many times for exhibition and visit my supplier. But all this, I know him by Hong Kong show or Dubai show or another idea, not because I visit India. So should be you correct this from your side?
Yes. Sir, we can come together and we can do the largest exhibition in the Middle East, in the the GCC region, where we can bring all buyers from all over. It's not only Saudi Arabia. So that will also include investment, everything, sir.
Sabia,
Yes.
we can start with a buyer-seller meet.
Yes.
First, a smaller format where there's limited participation from both sides. Do a buyer-seller meet. And once that's successful, then you can roll out into a larger format show.
Yes.
Okay, and also same what Mr. Abdul Latif said, if you want to have some factory need opening here factory or sharing with the Saudi people, okay, we'll come anytime also.
Yes, that's also true, because we are a facilitator as a council, we are an association. Of course, two association, the traders can meet, and where they find business happening, their profit, they will always come together and of course setting the factory, because Saudi Arabia is of course a big consumer. So if that is profitable for them, they can come. I will not lose this opportunity to also ask Mr. Nizar Zamil Mukhtar, who is from Al Rumayzan. Al Rumayzan is a very well-known name in our country. So to you, basically, the question I would ask is, do people in Saudi Arabia sold jewelry products from India? What is that, like from Saudi Arabia, what is the affinity towards sourcing from India? And if you're sourcing from India, what is your experience? Whether you find it good or whether the supplies are good, and if there isn't anything more you require from us, what is your opinion?
Okay, thank you for your question. I will not speak about the very long historical relationship between India and Gulf countries, and how big the exchange of trade or culture or whatever. I'm talking about everybody knows about the diamond bourses in Bombay, like Opera House and Sharatna, Al Malad, and last Baharat diamond bourse, and I think the GJPCEC, they need to do more promotions, because I remember last promotion, the last visit for an Indian delegation came to Saudi Arabia, it was 2004. So now it's 17 years. And you need, and I have been asked the same question, and I answered some of this question. There is lack of promotion and advertisement, and there is we encourage you to make the mutual, let's say, exhibitions, forums, meetings. India, it's very important for us. It's a very huge supplier of diamonds, especially for the manufacturer. And I urge the embassy here to make a visa very easy. Before we can get a visa, multiple entry, and for 1 year, 2 years. Now only one, and it's not online. I have to go myself there, and I get 3 months only single entry. Even with an invitation from a company from India. Really, the jewelry manufacturer, they are developed their technique and their finishing and their quality. But for me, my advice: if you enter a new market, you have to do a market research. You have to get help or assist or assign some of the local designers, because the local designers, they know what is the demand for our society. Saudi Arabia is very huge market. It's one of the biggest in the market, and the first market in the Middle East. So this is my point. It's really a very important point. This is, I repeat my answer when I ask this question 2004. But now, also in the future, thank you for inviting us to attend this meeting through the Riyadh Chamber of Commerce. But I wish next time we can do a lot of work with the national committee, which is represent 30 chambers of commerce in Saudi Arabia. This is what I have to say. Please accept my suggestions.
Thank you, sir. And that is a very important suggestion. I think Mr. Amin Anwar is there. So Asim Anwar is there. Let him also speak on this issue.
Yes.
Yeah. I think a question has been raised on the visa issue, and let me share with my colleagues from Saudi Arabia that in fact the visa process has been significantly simplified, and the embassy is now issuing 5-year multiple entry visas to all Saudi business persons who are visiting India, and the e-visa process, at least prior to the pandemic, had already been started, and this is going very smoothly. There's no need of visiting the embassy. There's no need of going through laborious processes, and it's a 5-year multiple entry visa, both for the business people and also for their families. So yeah, so it's just we just need to get the biometric done. That's all. So it's actually a very, very simple process. I can assure my Saudi colleagues here that visa processes have been simplified, and if they find any issues, they can directly get in touch with us and we'll get it solved. Thank you.
Thank you for that.
Yes. Sorry, but I will assure you the jewelry sector in Saudi Arabia is going to the best to improve itself, and I assure you there is exhibitions and a lot of geological laboratories, and update their regulations, and in the near future you will hear more about the Saudi jewelry sector, and it will take the place in the Middle East.
Thank you, sir. And another confirmation we want to give, what after Indian Embassy have given, Gem and Jewelry Export Promotion Council, GJPC, will be one-stop shop for you. If you want anything here, if you want to send your designers in our country to tour around to see what is the taste, what are the type of manufacturers, everything will be facilitated. This is such an important meeting happening because you are the largest consumers maybe of the world of the type of jewelry what we manufacture, and we are one of the largest manufacturers. And also in Saudi also a lot of manufacturing is happening. For that they require the diamonds, and we are the largest manufacturer of diamonds, also colored gemstones. So this business relationship, which is started today with Indian Global Connect, we promise to take it further, and we will talk with your committee, and also we want your support into this so that we take this relationship further.
Awesome. Our designers, actually, we have a very magnificent designers, especially they are working on the CAD, Gem Vision and Matrix Gold. They have very beautiful designs, and I tried to connect them with outside manufacturers, and I did succeed in this subject, and it's open. If any manufacturer from India they need some designers from Saudi Arabia, they can work online, and they can ask them for the designs, the demand design in our market.
So thank you, sir. If that is coming from Al Rumaizan, that is one of the largest of Saudi Arabia. Of course, all our people who are sitting here are enthused, encouraged to hear this, because to have a meeting with you is a privilege to a lot of jewelers from our country. So it is very good to hear. And thanks Indian Embassy for bringing in such important people in this forum. And of course, we will take it forward. And we go with your questions now. I would request Mr. Kunal Doshi, who is of course another large exporter from our country, the type of jewelry what is made in, and also he's from the jewelry committee who advises the government in terms of policy planning of the gems and jewelry exports from India. that India is importing gold bars from Saudi Arabia and exporting gold jewelry. So we have both way relationship, that we import from Saudi Arabia gold bars and we export gold jewelry. In this manner, export complementary exists within two countries. That means this is a complementary treaty which exists. At this backdrop, what can be the possible ways of enhancing this bilateral trade of gems and jewelry? Just now we have heard very encouraging things, because these are very encouraging insights from Al Rumayda and Mr. Nazar Mukhtar. And from there, if you can take it forward, that from Indian side, what we have the message to give to the Saudi Arabian side.
Thank you, everybody, for inviting me to this distinguished session. I would like to add over here that the trade with Dubai was there because of free trade between Saudi and Dubai. The same thing can happen with India and Saudi. We can do a barter system wherein you can give us the gold, and in exchange we can give the jewelry. We can work on the duty structure in such a way that for the gold given to us for job work, the only the element of job work may be given for duty purpose, so that we can request, and simultaneously we can work so that there can be an exchange of labor also. There can be a factory system. We can send our own people who are highly skilled in manufacturing handmade jewelry. We make one of the best handmade jewelry of the world, and it is a 5,000-year-old trade that we are in right now. And across India, the craftsmen are there in every nook and corner of the country. And the best way to do this, because I was just listening to the earlier distinguished members saying that direct export to Saudi is challenging. It is problem, whatever. But when I look at the figures, we are only at 10% of the Saudi trade, whereas we should be at around 80% on the basis of jewelry that is being sold in Saudi, which is of Indian origin. So the best way, whatever the duty structure, which has been really liberalized in the last few years, and also the question of, we have given a suggestion to our government that we can take gold against gold, which is in Dubai, same system in India. So that if that works out, I'm sure there should not be any other issues with respect to increasing trade from this country. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Kunal Bhai, that was, of course, a very insightful, thought from you. And now I again go to the Saudi Arabian side. I would like to ask Mr. Abdul Rahman Al Sakha about, see, we are hearing a lot about gold jewelry, and now, we have also heard about diamonds. So what about silver jewelry? In Saudi Arabia, what is the type of demand, or is there any demand of silver jewelry?
Yes. الفضة جيدة لها سوق، ولكن ليس بقوة الذهب، يعني على استحياء، يعني ضعيف. لكن في محلات فضة، ولكن ليست بالقوية جدا، يعني ليست هدف، يعني أعتبرها ليست هدف قوي بالنسبة لكم. يوجد عندنا فرص. في مترجم؟ ألو؟
تفضل سيدي.
نعم. أنا قلت لهم إن الفضة ليست كهدف يعني قوي، لأنه المحلات الفضة ليست بالعدد الكبير.
طيب.
والطلب على الفضة ليس بكبير جدا.
This silver jewelry in Saudi Arabia is not the preferred one, you can say. There is business, of course, in Saudi markets, but generally Saudi shops, Saudi traders don't prefer much silver, gold.
يوجد فرص بالنسبة للذهب أو ما يعني يخدم الذهب المختبرات. لدينا هنا نقص في المختبرات، وانا احث في الهند اذا يوجد لديهم مختبرات تود ان يعني تفتح فروع لها او انها تكون فرانشايز، تعطي اسماء فرانشايز للسعوديين، هذه فرصة كبيرة لانه نحتاج اكثر من مختبر في الرياض وفي جدة في كل مكان.
There is much opportunity in the field of laboratories. Actually, in Saudi Arabia, there are so many laboratories. I don't know about India. If there are, then there could be
in Saudi, not too much. In Saudi, not too much. Only one or two in Saudi. So need more from India.
Okay. In Jeddah and Riyadh, he said, right?
Yeah, one in Dammam, one in Riyadh, I think, and one Jeddah.
Yeah, okay, fine.
Yeah.
So in Jeddah and Dammam and Riyadh, few laboratories are here in Saudi Arabia. If India, in India, there are many laboratories. So if laboratories people can visit and cooperate in this field, this will be a better opportunity in this sector actually.
Reliable names, trustful, reliable names of laboratories. Because there is many names, but few of them we can. The name is very, I mean, trustful.
Names of laboratories, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean. من مختبرات موثوقة، يعني هناك كثير من الأسماء ولكن الأسماء الموثوقة تعد على الأصابع قليلة.
يعني مختبرات مطلوبة في المملكة.
مطلوبة في المملكة بس لازم تكون من أسماء يعني accredited، معروفة وموثوقة. إيه، لأنه في مختبرات تجارية يعني ما لها مصداقية، هذا اللي قصدي. Yes.
طيب. The point is, in Saudi Arabia, there is much demand of laboratories, but the problem is the laboratories should be branded and authentic. If there are authentic and branded and famous laboratories in India, they can establish their establishment in this country.
Yes, that also, of course, we can be forthcoming to that. We have heard about this, and thank you for informing. So a lot of insights are coming. I think that in our trade, these insights were not there. This is also an information that branded laboratories are a requirement in Saudi Arabia. That, of course, can be looked into when, again, we look into this issue. Now, I would like to ask Mr. Adib Muhammad Idris from Green Emerald Jewelry that, amongst this, let's say in India, then if you compare France, you compare Italy, etc. So where do you keep Indian jewelry in terms of sourcing in from all these countries? Let's say if you put India, if you put France, if you put Italy, if you're sourcing from these countries, in your opinion, how these competitors or how these different countries as a source of jewelry will be to you?
Me answer or another?
Yes, please. It is Mr. This question is to Mr. Adib Muhammad Idris.
The India and jewelry, I think in Saudi, he take it maybe from 60 to 80% because the stone or the finished jewelry, the Indian take 80% from the cake. From the market, Saudi market. In Italy, not too much. The gold in Italy, opposite. He take it 80%. The Indian gold, less, because the design for Indian people, he do it the design for Indian people, not for the Middle East.
Yes, yes.
An example, the jewelry, the gold, the color gold, everything. When you go, you see, if I buy some goods from India, not from local customer, from Indian people in Dubai or in Saudi, or somebody he like it, the Indian design. Same every month you like to go to Indian restaurant, but you cannot eat every day. But if this Indian restaurant, he put it some of the food little, not too much spicy or not too much the tasting like local, maybe buying. So the gold should be the design.
Okay.
Do the
Yes.
design like
Yes.
Italy,
Yeah.
like normal design. Of course, buying from India.
Thank you. So, Mr. Idris, if you can also speak on this subject, Mr. Mohammad Idris, you please unmute yourself first. No, you have to unmute. You are on mute.
Do you hear me now?
Yes, now we can hear you. Yes.
Good.
Good.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Salam alaikum.
Actually, I can speak in English, but I have to speak in Arabic.
Please.
Because it is our language.
Of course.
I own a jewelry factory and I own showrooms. At the same time, I'm a member of the Saudi Indian Business Council.
That's great, sir.
Yeah, and for the visas, let me just say one word about the visas. As we have Mr. Ram Prasad with us now. During my maybe 10 visits to India, it was #1 in our schedule to discuss with the people there. لا رب تتكلم بالعربي عشانكم. احنا خلال زياراتنا للهند الصديقة يمكن أكثر من 10 زيارات، ونحن نطالب بتخفيف الأعباء على طالبي التأشيرات لزيارة الهند. يعني هو أي كلام. طبعا الأخ نزار أو الابن نزار أشار إنه عندنا 30 غرفة تجارية في المملكة. 30 Chamber of Commerce in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Yes, we do. لكن كلهم بسياسة واحدة بعكس الهند. الهند انتم عندكم كل ولاية الغرفة التجارية حقتها بسياسة منفصلة عن المناطق الأخرى.
يترجم الكلام.
ايوه احنا الآن بنتكلم عن تخفيف القيود. أنا في رأيي حتى أقارن كيف سيكون وضع المملكة العربية السعودية أو أسواق المملكة العربية السعودية مع الدول سواء كانت الجارة أو الشقيقة أو الصديقة موجودة، لكن ليش ما يكون للهند مكاتب هنا في المملكة العربية السعودية؟ ليش لازم لما يبغوا يجوا رجال الأعمال الهنود لازم يجوا عن طريق السفارة؟ ليش ما يكون لهم أيضا هنا ممثليات زي ما تفضل الأخ عبد اللطيف أو الأستاذ نزار أو سعادة الرئيس عبد الرحمن، أن يكون مصانع مشتركة بين المملكة العربية السعودية والهند. رجال الأعمال في السعودية يرحبوا بالمشاركة، ولكن يعني هي تخضع لشوية قيود بسيطة، ولا بد إنه إحنا ننطلق. أنتم كنتوا تتكلموا عن المعارض، وكانوا الكل يعمل 1000 حساب لإخراج البضائع أو فسح البضائع من الجمارك. لكن لو كان في مكاتب للمجوهرات والذهب الهندية في المملكة العربية السعودية على غرار ما هو متبع في الدول الصديقة والشقيقة، ستخفف علينا وعليكم الشيء الكثير الكثير الكثير.
Of course, His Excellency mentioned so many points, but a few, whatever I could remember, I will mention that, of course, there are so many chamber of commerce in Saudi Arabia, which is around 30 chamber of commerce in Saudi Arabia, and they are all of them are having the same policies and interested also in increasing the interactions and business. As far as the visa and the visa restrictions are concerned, again, I would emphasize on the point that the embassy should ease the procedures of visa, like other countries, other friendly countries are having very ease of doing business and endorsement of visas. So the same thing should be done between these two countries as well. At the same time, I would suggest that there should be factories, common factories, joint collaborations between the factories of joint collaboration between these two countries, and they should set up in Saudi Arabia like other friendly countries are doing. At the same time, I suggest to have the offices of gems and jewelries in this country, and they can directly deal with each other rather than through the embassy of India. Such things are being done through by other friendly countries also, and I expect the same things from India as well. Thank you.
Thank you. That is, of course, encouraging words. We understand that we are talking about creating bridges, that means collaboration in manufacturing, and also creating sourcing offices in each other's countries. Those are very good suggestions. And of course, we have taken note of the same. And we now go to our Indian partner. You know, of course, in India now is a powerhouse in manufacturing chains. So we have chain and chains, Mr. Anish Birawat, who, of course, I am directing my next question to him, that are you expecting exporting jewelry from India to Saudi Arabia? And what do you think can be the reasons of less exports? Of course, we have all heard. What can be your take on this, whatever we are hearing about this, to increase the exports, how to take this relationship forward, and based on the relationship, the trade between both the countries can improve. What is your take onto this?
Thank you, Sabyasachi. Am I audible?
Yes, of course.
Great, thank you. Greetings to the esteemed panel. It's a fantastic discussion that we are having, and I feel there's a lot of positive energy in terms of whatever we have discussed. We do export some of the good gold jewelry to Saudi Arabia. We have customers who really want us to, export more jewelry. What I find is there's a lot of lack of, exposure in terms of Indian manufacturers and also people from Saudi Arabia, where they don't know a lot of manufacturing design accessibility from India. So as we are discussing that, more interactions can be done, a more discovery platform like small buyer-seller meets or exhibitions, or in a way where we can directly access. Is there some?
No, you can go ahead. I think there is some disturbance. You can go ahead.
Yeah. So I think if more and more interactions can be done, it will give both the countries a very good platform to know each other and meet more customers, meet more suppliers from India and from Saudi Arabia. And I think slowly and steadily we can take this a direct access to Saudi market and direct access from people of Saudi to Indian manufacturers and design. India is a wide country. There are manufacturers from across the country, from north of India, western India, eastern India, southern India. So I think a lot that there are many possibilities that we can explore and we can take this relationship, this association to next level.
Thank you. Thank you, Anish. And of course, you have heard about the collaboration between the manufacturers, and you are one of a great manufacturer. You can always look forward to you coming forward to take this forward.
Absolutely.
So now my question will be directed to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabian side, the panelist. My question will be to Michel Al-Dabian. The question is that during the pandemic, this pandemic which has gripped the world and everybody is affected. In your opinion, what is the changes in the preferences of the customers? Because you are also selling in Saudi Arabia, whether there are any changes into the preference of the customers, whether they feel now cheaper kind of jewelry they want to buy or not, or any other changes in customer due to this pandemic. The question is to Mr. Michel Al-Dabian, to you. Please unmute before you talk.
الصوت واضح؟ Good.
Yes, we can hear you.
السلام عليكم، تسمعون؟
Yes, carry on.
تفضل.
عليكم ورحمة الله. أنا ما أعلن عادة الرئيس على رئيس والأخوان. سوق الهند سوق كبير كتير يعني، ونتمنى أكثر في المستقبل القريب وجود معارض كثيرة وتبادل تجاري، يكون مقرات المكاتب الرئيسية يعني أسماء يكون في معارض.
صوتك ساعتكم غير واضح، لا نستطيع أن نفهم ماذا تفضل أن تقول. Yeah, you can continue. تفضل استمر.
واضح؟
لا نسمع صوتكم.
مشكلة من عندي.
غير واضح أبدا، لا يوجد صوت أبدا من ساعدتكم. أعتقد هناك صعوبة في الاستماع أو في تركيب. unmute لو سمحت. यहाँ से कर सकते हैं। unmute لو سمحت.
See, it is not clear, Mr. Dabian. We will try another time. So I think.
Let me explain whatever I understood from him so far.
Yes.
Only few sentences I could understood that Indian gems and jewelry market is very big, and there should be offices, as earlier some gentlemen mentioned, that the coordination offices should be established in Saudi Arabia. In that case, then we can improve the things of trading in this particular sector more and more. That is what I could understood. Other was not clear. So please carry on. Go ahead.
Thank you. So again, we go ahead to the next, to whom we will direct our question. He is Mr. Hussein Behemdin of Abdullah Behemdin. To you, I would like to ask that what kind of jewelry the Saudi Arabian customers prefer. So that will be news to our manufacturers here, so they can always manufacture that kind of jewelry. So Mr. Hussein Behemdin from Abdullah Behemdin, what is the type of jewelry what the Saudi consumers prefer?
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته ومساء الخير للجميع.
السلام عليكم. هلا ابو عبد الله، يا هلا منور.
الله يسلمكم، منورين، الله يحفظكم. السلام عليكم. حقيقة أنا ناوي في ما قالوه الأخوان، فهم غطوا جانب كبير. أنا الآن حانتقل إلى الجانب الهندي، وهذه رسالة بنقولها إلى الإخوة الهنود إنه معلش خليك معايا عشان تترجم، الله يحفظك.
السيد حسين كان السؤال ما هي أنواع المجوهرات مفضلة في المملكة العربية السعودية من قبل الزبائن المحليين؟ هذا
نعم.
السؤال.
هو المجوهرات معروفة الحمد لله. هو اللي صاير في المجوهرات الهندية هو ثقل المجوهرات الهندية، وهذا يجعل فيها مشيها. أنا أتكلم عن الذهب، المجوهرات الذهبية الهندية ثقيلة الوزن، ولذلك مشيها في السوق السعودي ضئيل جدا. ولكن أنا حبيت أتجاوز هذا السؤال، أتكلم عن جانب ثاني، إنه أنا الآن هو الوحيد من التجار في المنطقة الغربية الذي متواجد معكم، وهناك كثير من الدعوات راحت لكثير من الأخوة. أعتقد كثير من الأخوان يحجبوا عن الحضور إلى الهند والمعارض الهندية بسبب رئيسي في الهند موجود، ألا وهو اللوكيشن للمعرض الهندي نفسه والمكان نفسه تبع المعرض الهندي. أنا رحت الهند كثير وحضرت معارض في الهند في مناطق عدة، وكذلك في خارج الهند. فإحنا لما نجي نقارن المعرض الهندي معرض المجوهرات الذي يقام فيها المجوهرات في الهند، للأسف الشديد الموقع سيء جدا. كثير من الأخوان من المملكة من مدينة جدة بالذات راحوا معي أكثر من مرة ومتعددين، يروحوا للمرة الأولى ثم يهجموا عن الذهاب للمرة الثانية. والآن في هذا أتكلم عن هذا الموضوع الآن، إنه لما طلب منهم إنهم يحضروا يبطلوا، ما يرفضوا الحضور بسبب يقول لك لا والله المكان غير مناسب لنا. وسبب انه يمكن تكلمنا في جانب انا والشيخ اديب ادريس في هذا الموضوع من فتره حينما كنا في الهند مع بعض. فانا ببعث رساله للمسؤولين في الحكومه الهنديه بعمل مكان حديث مودرن، يعني لوكيشن يتناسب مع الهند. الهند اليوم دوله عظمى، الى المعرض ويشوف المكان هذا جديد، مكان غير، خاصة انه بعض المعارض تقام في موسم الامطار مثل جولاي، فيكون المطر شديد وكثير من الناس تصابوا بمشاكل الذهاب ومشاكل العودة. فهذا رسالة برسلها للجميع، واستودعكم الله، وإن شاء الله تؤخذ بمحض الاهتمام.
Thank you so much. There are some points he indicated that as you asked the quality and what type of jewelries are preferred by Saudi customers in Saudi Arabia. It is that the design of the Indian jewelry is a little heavy, and while the thin and small type of jewelries are preferred by Saudi customers in this country. Particularly the Western area prefers such small and light jewelries rather than heavy jewelries as India produces. This is one point. And the second point is, he says, I have visited India so many times, and I found that the exhibitions or the meetings, places are held in a very complicated places. I urge government of India to choose the proper places to organize or to hold exhibitions so that visitors and the people, businessmen can visit easily in the places. Thirdly, the climate and the timing of holding exhibition should be also in appropriate time. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So for your information, if I can say that this year, the IIJS, due to the pandemic, the last year, our flagship show, we could not held, the IIJS could not be held last year. This year, we are holding this big exhibition of ours in Bangalore in a proper venue, as you say, in a proper place. So instead of Bombay, now it is Bangalore. So it is from 15th of September. All of you are invited. We will host you. If you want to come, the visas and also there are health restrictions. We'll try to work out with the Indian government. You are all welcome into this fair, into a better place, into a best place, and also not complicated. I can assure you. So, okay, all my invitation from my council to all of you. We'll send personal invitation to all of you, the panelists, after this. But we carry on with today's, seminar, and we go to the next to Mr. Sushil Jain from Dalmas. So, if Mr. Jain, you have heard about the jewelry, about the products, what the consumers of Saudi Arabia prefer. So, if you can throw some insight about what we can manufacture, because of course we understand that the entire world is moving towards lightweight jewelry and lighter jewelry, and it is something to hear because in Saudi Arabia also I'm hearing that lighter weight jewelry is now in vogue. So please, if you can comment.
Okay, inshallah. Thank you.
Good afternoon to my friends from across the border, and good afternoon to my colleagues here in India. I congratulate both the councils, the Indian and the Saudi council, to organize this wonderful interaction where so much valuable ideas have been exchanged, which we never knew. So a lot has been spoken. I will try not to repeat. So besides the other wide varieties of jewelry that have been manufactured in India, the diamond jewelry, 18 karat gold diamond jewelry, with the rose gold and white gold and yellow gold color, it has evolved a lot from my experience. I have an experience of 30 years in working with Middle East and Saudi jewelry companies. So you see that recently the level of professionalism and dedication with which work is done, starting from the designing processes. And I thank you, Mr. Mukhtar, for recommending the use of Saudi designers. It's a very valuable suggestions. And after that, the carefully testing each piece of diamonds for the CVD, for the stimulants diamonds, weeding out that. And the entire manufacturing process is being done in a very professional manner. So much so that some of the most famous brands of the world, like Messica and other brands, are sourcing their jewelry from India. The jewelry is manufactured right here in India. See, the Saudi taste has been very dynamic, from the traditional jewelries, from the wedding sets. We used to see big pieces being sold to Saudi clients. Now it is taking a turn to a modern everyday wear, a more wearable jewelry. So it is evolving a lot. And I feel that Indian factories are with this trend, are moving with the trend and trying to cope up with the right in-demand product and keeping their inventories tailored to suit the client needs. A very unique combination of handmade and factory-made and machine-made jewelry is combined to get out a light weight of product. You know, the sets that we used to manufacture in 150 grams, 150 grams. Now we are making it the same design in 85 grams and more flexible than before. So I would say that, you know, we are able to maintain to whatever we can with the changing and dynamic requirement of our Saudi clients. And well, of course, not to mention the prices, the most competitive and a world-class product at a world-class price could be offered to our friends from across the border. Thank you so much. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Sushil Jain. And that was, of course, an insight into our manufacturing capabilities and also your company's capabilities. And from there, of course, again, I move to the Saudi Arabian side. My question now will be to Mr. Nasir Quatani of Al Quatani. Again, we come back to this question that, in your opinion, if we ask you in terms of diamond studded jewelry, of course, the gold we have heard, we have silver we have heard. Now, if in case of diamond studded jewelry or colored gemstone studded jewelry, in your opinion, what is the kind of jewelry that the Saudi Arabian jewelers are looking at when they are sourcing from India? This question is to Mr. Nasir Quatani of Al Quatani. I can see you there, but of course, your microphone and, you know, yes. Yes, please carry on. We cannot hear you. Mr. Nasir Al Quatani? You are not, audible. So then we move to Mr. Ramesh Bora of Bafle Jewelers. So if you can, answer the question basically. You are mute, Ramesh bhai.
Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon, sir. You hear me, Sabir?
Yes, we can hear you. Please carry on.
Walaikum salam.
Assalamu alaikum. Masal khair, everybody. I'm Ramesh Mendubai, Mujawarat Bafla. Okay. In Saudi, all type of jewelry is moving. Indian jewelry they like. But if we want to supply, just we have to understand their priority, because they like traditional jewelry in Saudi Arabia. So our jewelers actually have to see which type of jewelry they like, and according to their choice, we have to make it. Then it is okay. Because they like dubla, like a wedding band, half set, everything they like, but design is totally different. So first we have to study the choice of the Saudi people, then we have to go. Saudi is a big market, big population, and lots of tourists also coming during the Hajj and Umrah. So there is big potential. So we have to first study a little bit, and then we have to proceed. Second thing, there is a now duty plus VAT. So if we have the treaty, then it is easier to send. Otherwise, the local jewelry is cheaper and our jewelry will be expensive. So we must do some source of treaty, either like barter system, gold to gold, then the making charges, only the duty on the making charges, then it will be cheaper. Third is exhibition. So in Saudi, we have to do 2 exhibitions per year. One is Riyadh, one is Jeddah. And we have to ask the local association which time is good. Then we can send this our jewelers over there, manufacture over there. Plus local jewelers also can join, and we can have the joint exhibition in Saudi Arabia. And we don't have to pay duty or VAT. Just we show our product and we can come back within 4 or 5 days. So this is the main thing. But Saudi is, I've been Saudi since last 30-35 years. And it is a huge market. And they like our jewelry, all type of jewelry like actually. They like in gold jewelry from Delhi, Kolkata, Mumbai, all type of gold jewelry they like. Plus they like our diamond jewelry also. But they prefer more like traditional jewelry. So that we have to think, and we have to just change a little bit our design. Then I think that near future export will be much more than previous. Thank you.
Thank you, Ramesh Bhai. That insight was very good because, of course, you had a wide array of experience in terms of Saudi market. In DJAPC, of course, depends a lot upon you for understanding the Saudi market.
Thank you.
And that was very good insight. So now I would like to ask Mansukh Bhai, Mr. Mansukh Kothari of Vasupati Jewellers, who is also from our board and who is also from the events committee, that what do you think? How can we connect with the producer? That means whatever we are just now talking is to create connections between Indian and Saudi Arabian jewelers. So what, in your opinion, can be the better way of connecting, and in association terms also, what will be the way forward on this?
Yeah, thank you. And good afternoon to everyone. I think for India, Saudi is a very important market, and it has a potential gold and jewelry market, which is projected to surpass $6 billion by 2022. Supported by the rising population and rising economic development in the country, introduction of trade-friendly policy to enhance gem and jewelry trade between the countries will be a game changer. I think the gem and jewelry associations from both the countries should work together, understand the strength and business opportunity, and then approach the government for drafting policy and reform that can help boost the trade. Apart from the buyers, the buyers from Saudi Arabia, we always welcome to our annual show, IHS Signature and IHS Premier Show, which will give, when they come to India, they will have the broad idea about the capabilities and of the Indian manufacturers who caters to the clients across the world. Apart from that, we can also engage through the virtual platform, which will help them to understand each other, other requirements. Thank you.
Thank you, Mansukh Bhai. So, may I now ask Mr. Vijay Soni of SIBN? You have heard a lot about the exhibitions, but exhibitions nowadays are happening both in physical and virtual format. We have heard that what Ramesh Bhai has told, that we can do buyer-seller meets in Saudi Arabia, where both the Saudi Arabian jewelers also can be part. They can also display, and we can also display. Now, in terms of this jewelry and physical and virtual exhibition, what will be your suggestion? How to do it? What do you feel, Mr. Vijay Soni of SIBN?
Thank you, friends. It was nice to hear from our panelists. A lot of points has been raised. I just want to put a few points to August gathering. SIBN has been actively involved in promoting bilateral trade between these two countries, and I had a personally chance to lead at least 5 delegations to ISJ, whereby common feedback what coming out is, we are promoting enough on trade, but there are certain things, if we can add up more, it become long-term bonding, which the areas are promotion activities, of course, is lacking. If you compare with what GJ is putting in UAE, nothing is done in this part of the world. Whereas we all acknowledge that Saudi Arabia is the biggest market in Middle East. Even if you look at the trade official figures, whatever you see, these are only, I will say, peanuts of the real trade. Real trade happens via media other countries. But with introduction of VAT and customs and monetary policies, things are moving back to direct trade direction. And if we are able to achieve this bar-tail system, I'm seeing at least 10-fold growth in business between these two countries within not long period, I will say within 2 or 3 years time. And we will see a different story altogether. Coming back to this, you're talking about, what kind of mileage can come out of these events. So I will prefer that, yes, our focus is B2B, but whether we can hold some trades, so maybe it could be virtual, but in a larger way, so that, where key buyers are there, even retail segment, who can see what trends are coming from India, which can go to their taste, and promotion happens there. And it could be followed by B2B meeting. Again, B2B meeting, I would suggest that it should be a specific domain buyers and manufacturer, because you will have mixed type of variety of people inside that. And Bartail, and if this collaboration things works, I feel you can see at least double-digit parties who are immediately want to do tie-up with India to set up their factory or to have know-how collaboration, employee exchange program. And if it happens, it becomes strong bonding. One of the area more I would suggest is whether we can do collaboration on training, because Saudi Vision 2030 is highly promoting. They also want to promote their Saudi youth to be collaborating with India. So if we can bring institutional collaboration to this part of world and exchange of architect and craftsmen, I think it will give a long-term inning, and we will see the real fruits in this domain. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Soni. And of course, that have summed it up very well. And I think that, of course, these are the directions what can be taken to expand the trade in gems and jewelry between Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and India. So we are coming to the end of this, towards the end of this whole session, and it was really a fantastic session. But before, yes, Kunal bhai.
Sorry to interrupt you. I just had an idea from what I've been hearing from different. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. What I've been hearing is that most of the panelists have come to India, and they've had different type of experiences in India. What I can suggest is from the GJEPC side, if we can put up to our members and somebody can upload 2-3 pictures to GJEPC, which can be forwarded to the panelists, to the different associations, that this is the type of jewelry that is good for the Saudi market, which will be an attraction for them to come over here and meet the right people with whom they can do more business. It will save time and energy, and it will be more productive. Thank you.
Thank you, Kunal bhai. So that, of course, is a good insight. So if from Saudi Arabian side, if you want to say something before we close this question and the session of this part of the session, anybody from Saudi Arabian side?
Hello. Hello.
Yes,
Bushra.
Yes, hi. This is Bushra Al Sayed. I'm a member of the Gold and Jewelry Committee. You just asked a question before about the pandemic, if it does affect the Saudi taste.
Yes.
And yes, I own a jewelry boutique, and I found it very affected for the pandemic. The Saudi taste is changing a lot after the COVID because of the occasions. Now people cannot attend big occasions, so they are looking for just simple jewelry.
Yes.
So if the weddings, let's say, this is the best occasion in Saudi Arabia and they do a lot for it, they would go for big stones before. Now weddings, to have only 20 or 50 attendees, they will go to just a small and sets. So for us now, everyone all of the customers are asking about the daily use jewelry. And they can use for work, for whatsoever. So yes, I think this is the answer of your question before that you mentioned.
Thank you, madam.
Saudi taste has been changed after the pandemic.
That is a great insight. In fact, in our country also it has changed. The marriages have become smaller. Lesser people are coming. Of course, because of that, the taste as is changing. You have given a right insight that in your country also you are facing the same challenges. And of course, they are going more to daily use jewelry rather than the big sets and heavy jewelry. That is a good insight what we have got, and that will be very useful for the manufacturers from our side to have a essence of how the market has changed due to pandemic. Thank you, madam. So this, I think, brings us to the ultimate, the end part of the session. So to sum it up, if we can sum it up correctly, is that what we spoken about is that one is the direct exports to Saudi Arabia is the requirement of the hour. We have talked about holding exhibitions in Saudi Arabia and how to hold it, what are the ways, and how to do B2B exhibitions, and whether we can do virtual exhibitions. We have also talked about delegation level, that the designers, how the designers can visit India and they can go around and can see what we are manufacturing, and based on that they can always mold their designs and can teach our people what to design, what to manufacture for Saudi Arabia. That is a great insight. And we have also heard that the access to India in terms of visa, in terms of ease of coming to India, and also multiple entry, that have also been heard, and I think the embassy have heard it. And of course, we'll work with our government and with the embassy to see that the jewelry community of Saudi Arabia get the advantage of easier access to our countries, and that is a promise. We'll work with our government. And then the investment in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, that also is one thing. Of course, 100%, if Saudi Arabia is such a big market, our people, if they find the market, they should be, they should be welcoming the investment in Saudi Arabia to get better access to Saudi Arabia. We'll try to understand what are the terms and conditions of that investment, and we will propagate amongst our members so that if they're interested, they can go and invest into Saudi Arabia. And also what we have heard, that as just now we have heard that the tastes have changed. People have talked about promoting more visits of delegations to Saudi Arabia by the GJPC will be taken. That is a promise. We have heard from you, Mr. Nazar Mukhtar, and that of course we'll take it forward and we'll see that yearly at least one delegation comes, so that, and we will of course keep in touch with the Counter Jewelry Association, your committee there. And as India is a huge supplier there, we are also talking about trusted laboratories to set shop in Saudi Arabia, so that the business people find that it is easier to source trusted gemstones and etc., so that the laboratories can certify that kind of gemstone, the trusted laboratories, and that sourcing can be easier and can be trusted. So also the Saudi Arabian side, we're happy to hear that they're open to have joint collaboration in manufacturing. We have heard that if a barter system with Saudi Arabia can be opened, so that only on the labor part the duty can be there, so better exports and imports and trading happens between both the countries. And this is more or less which has summed up of today's discussion, and we will carry whatever we have learned, of course, with better insight. And of course, after this we'll connect with the jewelry committee. Our chairman, your chairman, Mr. Abdul Rahman Al Sakha, is also there. We'll write to him also that how we can take this forward between two jewelry associations of two countries, so that all of this what we have heard, that can be taken forward. So before we end this session, I would ask our convener events, under whom this event is held, Mr. Mansukh Kothari, to propose the vote of thanks, to thank you, all of you. You have spared your time and you have given your very important insights from your experience. For that, to propose the vote of thanks.
Yeah. Thank you, Sabyasachi. Good evening, everyone. I think today's 3 hours discussions will take the German jewelry trade within both the countries to the next level. Saudi Arabia and India has a robust bilateral trade, accounting for $33.07 billion in 2019-20. But when it comes to German jewelry trade, it's very negligible. Though through today's meeting, we'll have tried to explore the opportunity and requirement which will help enhance the German jewelry trade between both the countries. I would like to thank our distinguished panelists from Saudi Arabia and India for their participation. We had a very insightful and meaningful discussion today. I am confident that both India and Saudi Arabia will look forward to engage more and strengthen German jewelry trade further. I express my gratitude to Mr. N. Ram Prasad, Deputy Chief of Mission, Indian Embassy in Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Dr. Shrikar K. Reddy, Joint Secretary, Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Mr. Abdul Rahman Al Sheikh, Chairman, Gold and Jewelry Committee, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, our Vice Chairman, Vipul Bhai, Mr. Milan Choksi, Convener, PMBD, GJPC, for having an open discussion and sharing their views on how to further improve the German jewelry trade between Saudi Arabia and India. Thank you, Sabyasachi, for moderating this meeting. But not last but not the least, I would like to thank all the participants from Saudi Arabia and India for their support and making this event a successful one. Thank you once again. Thank you.
Thank you.
I would also like to thank Mr. Asim Anwar, who has made this happening. Thank you, Mr. Anwar, for all your efforts into this. And with this, we call the end of this today's session, and we hope to hold many such sessions with both the trade of the countries. And thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.